Hello fellow YouTubers, I'm Cassandra Joy and welcome to Vlogmas Day 20. My weekend did not go as planned. I didn't get sick, but I definitely was under the weather. I think I was just generally run down from too many late nights, too many early mornings, editing for Vlogmas. A sacrifice I'm happy to make, but my body forced me to rest. And if you know me at all, being a firstborn extrovert, Enneagram 3 type A perfectionist, rest is not a thing I do well. Rest and I are kind of enemies. It's not productive. It feels like a waste of time, even if it's necessary. Like this weekend, when my body was definitely insisting that it was necessary. I spent the weekend doing all the cozy things I never give myself permission to do. And I thought some of you might also be run down this holiday season with all of the busyness and all of the hustle and bustle and maybe even some germs making its way into your home, forcing you to spend some quality time with your couch. If any of that happens to sound like your life right now, I thought it would be helpful to share some cozy things that I really love to do that are low stakes, loads of fun, and sure to give you that coveted dopamine hit. Let's start with something easy and, I think, underrated. Coloring books. We've come a long way from not just kids coloring books and the geometric shaped coloring books that feel way too challenging and complicated to even try. Companies have caught on to the cozy trend and found out people like us really love that stuff and have catered to our needs. I'm going to show you two of my current favorite coloring books. Both of these are series, so you can get different kinds within the same genre, if that makes sense. So my first purchase, my first toe dip into cozy coloring was this coloring book. This is the Village Charm coloring book. There are many to choose from. This one I bought during the summertime, so of course I got one that was a beachside town. Here's one of the ones I fully finished, and it was such a joy to tackle. It wasn't too overwhelming. It felt very approachable, and the illustrations just make me feel like I'm in a storybook. So sweet. And the nice thing about coloring books like this is that you don't have to tackle it all in one sitting. It's meant to be relaxing. It's meant to be fun. And when you turn it into a task, a thing you have to complete, I think some of that joy gets taken away. And as you can see, this page I didn't finish because I gave myself permission to take it at my own pace, which I highly encourage you to do as well. Another coloring book I've recently fell in love with, and is also a series, is this Friends coloring book, the official coloring book actually. These illustrations have all of the iconic moments from Friends that if you are a Friends fan like I am, you will instantly recognize and fall head over heels in love with. I'm not gonna lie, I may or may not have looked on Pinterest for screenshots of that scene so that I could match the kitchen colors as closely to the show as possible. You don't have to do that. You can flex your creative muscles any way you choose, but I tried to go as close to the show as possible because I'm me, and that's what I do. This one I did the other night, not finished yet, again going at my own pace. I'm a little bit annoyed because this pink is not the same color as I was hoping it would be, but that's okay. This is fun. It's not a project. No one's grading me. This is fun. Now that I've introduced you to some coloring books you can dive into, let me talk about markers. I'm a bit fussy with my markers. First of all, kids markers, if you have them and that's what you can afford, they will work. No shame in using them. But if you have the option, this is something I really liked. I would recommend this brand. It's called Primrosia. Again, they have multiple options, different color combinations you can choose from. This one has 60 dual tip marker pens with a watercolor brush and fine tip. This is the Fauna color collection, and as you can see, lots of markers to choose from. This is series 2. I really liked it because I thought it could go with multiple seasons. They have some that are a little bit more warmer tinted, some that are really vibrant colors. It's really up to your discretion, but this is the one I use. If for whatever reason coloring isn't your thing, that's totally fine. I've got some other crafts you might enjoy. My first suggestion is embroidery. Now don't let that scare you. This is not your grandma's embroidery. There are foolproof, beginner-friendly embroidery kits out there. It's not impossible to learn, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming. The kind of kits I really enjoy are these ones from Ellie and Grace. They're a faith-based company, which I really enjoy. All of their embroidery kits are beginner friendly. This one in particular is called It Is Well With My Soul, which if you don't know is my favorite hymn. I haven't haven't tackled this myself. It's still in the box for a reason, but it comes with everything you need and says so on the back. It comes with pre-cut fabric and the design printed on it so that you don't have to do any tracing. I love that. It's one less step for me. You get all the thread colors you need provided for you, and there's a link to free instructions in case you need a little extra help with certain stitch styles. I do have an affiliate code with Ellie and Grace if you're interested in getting 10% off your order. I have it linked in the description box of every video, just in case. This can apply to anything on their website. Very few products are excluded from that code, so if you like faith-based products, give it a try, save yourself a little bit of money, and try a new craft project. Speaking of craft projects, I have one more suggestion. If you've been following for a while, you may know that I dabble in crocheting. I'm not the best at it, but I enjoy it. It's fun. I've recently discovered granny squares, and that was super fun. Actually, I think I have my project right here beside me. I haven't figured out how to crochet the back of the pillowcase yet, but here's the front. Isn't that cute? Just some granny squares. If you're looking for something that's low, scary, and high reward, granny squares are a good starting point. In this case, I bought a crochet kit. I know there are so many out there. I think there's a brand called Oobles that I'd love to try at some point, but this one I found at TJ Maxx and thought it was super cute for the holiday season. This kit comes with everything included. The skill level is intermediate, so you do have to have a basic understanding of crocheting, but it shows you all of the supplies that you're gonna get in the box, and at the end of it, if you're lucky, you'll end up with a cute little Rudolph wearing a sweater. Not a bad deal. This is a winter craft I definitely am looking forward to trying out, but if that feels too advanced for you, if you have never tried crocheting before, I'll link a granny square tutorial I really enjoy in the description box for you that I followed and found really easy and intuitive. It took a couple tries. I definitely had some squares that didn't make it. I think that comes with trying any new skill. You're gonna have a few trial and error flops before you have something you can brag to all your friends about saying, look, I made this, isn't it cute? Another cozy activity that I definitely intend to take advantage of on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and for sure when the new year rolls around, reading books. If you don't know, I have a subscription to Book of the Month. If you're watching this and you're not new, you probably know that I'm super careful and mindful with where I put my money. So when I tell you this is the only subscription box that I'm subscribed to, I hope that carries the weight I intend it to. I can go to the bookstore and traditionally buy books the normal way. The reason I like this company as a wannabe author is because I know how hard it is to break into the literary world, how hard it is to get any sort of recognition or traction. I love a good slow burn, but marketing your own book is the worst slow burn ever, which is why Book of the Month is so cool, because they purposefully spotlight new upcoming authors, giving them a platform where they otherwise wouldn't have one. With this subscription, I'm not just being served the biggest, newest, shiniest book on the market. These are stories that haven't had a chance to shine yet. If my book ever showed up on a Book of the Month subscription box, I would cry. I would cry. Before I show you the books that I selected this month, I do want to let you know that I have a referral code in the description box of every video in case you'd like to get a discount on your first book. I think it gives you your first book for $5. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, you can get a book for just $12, which is still a massive steal when you consider that it's always a hardback with a beautiful cover, sometimes exclusive to Book of the Month. That cover isn't always available in normal bookstores, so just letting you know. Here are the books that I got this month. I'm super excited. The first one is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. This is a whodunit, if that wasn't clear, but a Christmas themed one, which is perfect for a cozy winter evening. This is by Ali Carter. Let me read you the inside cover. Knives Out gets a rom-com twist in this rivals to lovers Christmas romance mystery from best-selling author Ali Carter. The fact that they compared this to Knives Out, I'm instantly hooked. The bridge is out, the phones are down, and the most famous mystery writer in the world just disappeared out of a locked room 3 days before Christmas. Meet Maggie Chase and Ethan Wyatt. She's the new queen of the cozy mystery. He's Mr. Big Time Thriller guy. She hates his guts. He thinks her name is Marcy, no matter how many times she's told him otherwise. What an intro. But when they both accept a cryptic invitation to attend a Christmas house party at the English estate of a reclusive fan, neither is expecting their host to be the most powerful author in the world, Eleanor Ashley, the Duchess of Death herself. That night, the weather turns, and the next morning, Eleanor is gone. She vanished from a locked room, and Maggie has to wonder, is Eleanor in danger? Or is it all some kind of test? Is Ethan the competition, or is he the only person in that snowbound mansion she can trust? As the snow gets deeper and the stakes get higher, every clue will bring Maggie and Ethan closer to the truth and each other. Because this Christmas, these two rivals are going to have to become allies, and maybe more, if they have any hope of saving Eleanor, assuming they don't kill each other first. This sounds so cute and right up my street. I'm so excited to read this. I can't even tell you. This is what I'm gonna be snuggled up reading on Christmas Eve. The next book I got was an auto buy. Now, I don't do that very often. There are very few authors where I'm like, I don't even need to know what it's about. I'm gonna buy it anyway. This is one such book. Is it Christmas themed? No. Is it great for a winter evening? Absolutely. One of my favorite mystery books in the world. It's honestly a book that's in my top 10 favorite books of all time. It's called Daisy Darker by this author, Alice Feeney. I've told you about that book in another video, so I won't do that here, but if you'd like to look it up, you're more than welcome. It had a twist at the end that I did not see coming. And I'm pretty good at seeing things coming. If you read it, it won't be a disappointment. This book is called Beautiful Ugly, and I honestly don't even remember what it's about because, like I said, it was an auto buy, so let's find out together. The million-copy best-selling Queen of Twists returns with a gripping and deliciously dark thriller about marriage and revenge. Author Grady Green is having the worst, best day of his life. He calls his wife Abby to share some exciting news as she's driving home. He hears Abby slam on the brakes when she sees someone on the road ahead. Over Grady's protests, Abby gets out of the car. When he eventually finds her car by the cliff edge, the headlights are on, the driver's door is open, her phone is still there, but his wife has disappeared. A year later, Grady is still overcome with grief and desperate to know what happened to Abby. He can't sleep, he can't write, so he travels to a tiny remote Scottish island to try to get his life back on track. And then he sees the impossible. A woman who looks exactly like his missing wife. That sounds so good. I cannot wait to dig into this. I love a good whodunit, and Alice Feeney, if her first book is anything to go by, is a genius at setting the scene, at creating a moody atmosphere, at curating characters that you can't help but become invested in, even if you don't like them. Daisy Darker did not disappoint, and I have a feeling Beautiful Ugly won't either. Can you hear the wind outside? If the sun wasn't shining, I'd say that sounds really ominous. The last cozy activity recommendation I have for you involves games. Now, this may come as a surprise to some of you, but I actually love video games. I'm just really choosy about what I play. I've previously talked about a game series that I love to my core, and that is the Uncharted games. The best way I can describe it is that it's a modern day Indiana Jones with a treasure hunt mystery and characters you will 100% fall in love with. There are 4 games in the main series and 1 additional bonus game that involves side characters, but that's pretty action-packed, and I feel like a lot of you are not into that. So let me give you some cozy alternatives. Introducing one of the best investments I ever gave myself, a Nintendo Switch. I ummed and ahed about getting myself this for quite a while because it is a couple $100s. I got the pink version for obvious reasons, if that wasn't clear what my favorite color is. I have 2 massive games downloaded on here, and there's still plenty of storage space to spare. So I feel like you definitely get the full bang for your buck. Now, onto game recommendations. Let's start with a game that's free. This game is called Palia. If you're in the gaming world, you've probably heard of it. It's an open world game that's free to play. The only things you have to pay for are outfit upgrades if you want. It's an elective, not a requirement. It won't impact any of your gameplay. You're a human that magically appears in a cute little hamlet of a town. I wouldn't call it a dystopian, but there are ancient ruins that you can explore. Plenty of quirky, fun characters to get to know, and romance, if that's your thing.
Good idea. Leave before the rumors start. Oh, you're into bad boys, aren't you?
As much as I've been playing it, I still haven't reached the end of all the quests I can go on. There's plenty of places to explore. You can hunt, you can gather, you can garden, you can build your own house and decorate it as you please. You can build furniture, you can romance characters, you can cook, you can climb, you can explore. Honestly, the options are truly endless in this game. Hours of easy, low stakes gameplay. I've spent so many hours on this game and I'm still not sick of it, which should give you an idea of how much there is to do in this game. I really enjoy it. It's a good time. and it's free, which is always a bonus. The next game, which has been a recent discovery of mine, is called Hogwarts Legacy. If you're anything like me, you grew up not only on the Harry Potter books, but on the Harry Potter movies, and you wanted nothing more than to receive your Hogwarts letter, be whisked off to a magical school where you could practice wand work, explore a huge castle, and make friends with witches and wizards. Sadly, my letter never came. Apparently, Voldemort was responsible, surprise, surprise, for Muggle-born wizards not receiving their acceptance letter to Hogwarts. In 1997, Voldemort rose to power at the Ministry of Magic, and his ministry destroyed all the Muggle-born wizards records between 1985 and 1998. So if you were sad that you never received your Hogwarts letter, that's why. It's not your fault. We are not to blame. But if you're still a little salty about that, I have the cure. I wish I had filmed my first experience playing Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know how many times I squealed out loud. You enter the narrative as a 5th year at Hogwarts. You are an enigma. I believe the reason you don't start Hogwarts at an earlier age like everyone else is because your powers bloomed later in life, and your powers are quite rare. You have a very rare, very special magic that is coveted by all the wrong people. Your travel to Hogwarts starts out with some excitement. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you do eventually make your way to the wonderful, the magical, the dreamed of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. And when I tell you, the map on this thing is massive. That's the point at which I squealed, because the map of Hogwarts is so enormous. I've never played a game with this big of a world. The Sorting Hat picks your house, but you do get the opportunity to change it if you're not happy with the result. You get your own common room, and oh my word, it's beautiful. I'm a Ravenclaw, so I was obviously sorted into Ravenclaw house. There are challenges, there are quests, there are friends, not just from your house, but other houses as well. There's a character named Sebastian who's quite the Slytherin bad boy, and I'm sort of into him, not gonna lie. You also eventually get to travel to Hogsmeade, which has all of the shops. You can drink a butterbeer at the 3 Broomsticks. You can test out tons of magical candy at Honeyduke's, and you can go into the Forbidden Forest. But I wouldn't suggest doing that right off the bat. Give yourself some time, learn some spells. Oh, and the spells! In the settings, you can choose whether you want to have easy mode, normal mode, or hard mode, or story mode, which is the one I chose. And so far, it's been the perfect balance for me. It gives me just enough to be exciting, but not enough to where I feel bogged down and dreading going into the Forbidden Forest because I might find a slew of enemies I can't defeat yet. This game has been so much fun from beginning to end. It usually costs $69 to purchase, but right now it's $14.99. So if you have any interest in this at all, you can get it on a PS game, like PS3, PS4, I don't remember which one, or you can get it on Switch, which is what I've been doing. I wasn't sure if such a big game would look good on such a small device, but honestly, I haven't felt the lack. This is still such a beautiful game, and I actually find the controls on the Switch a lot more intuitive. There are so many other cozy activities that I could recommend to you, but these are my current favorites. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration on what you can do on the days where you're not feeling so good, or on days where you just need a break. And from one overachiever to another, rest isn't your enemy. In fact, it is very much your friend. Taking unproductive time for yourself is not only important, but it's necessary. Obviously, you can go overboard one way or the other, but I definitely think there's a balance between the two. There's a sweet spot where I think a lot of these activities would fit in perfectly. Let me know which activity sounds up your street and which one you think you might try. All of the products I've listed, including the Switch, are available on Amazon, and I'll have all of those linked in the description box for you so you can easily shop them for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you tomorrow. Love you guys. Mwah. Bye.